Good morning, Mike Oakes with Earthworks. We're at Barry for the next 3 weeks. So the front yard and the backyard, we're just trying to make a whole brand new clean slate. So we have pavers going in the backyard. We have a whole bunch of foliage going back here. Way too many to explain because once you see it, you're gonna be like, wow. We have Sylvesters, a whole bunch of palms, whole bunch of flowers, whole bunch of bushes. We got a whole bunch. This job is gonna be pretty awesome, pretty easy because it's a new establishment out here. Literally took us like 5 minutes to do the whole rip out front. Yeah! No. All landscape would come out this easy. Give it up. Same thing with the trees out back. We got a little fire pit area. We have some flagstone walkways coming out off the patio that's gonna go in the back. Enormous beds back here. Like I said, lots of foliage going inside of it. My team today, Antonio and Patrick. I was supposed to keep that. And we're just gonna keep on keeping on, so stay tuned and check us out. Good afternoon, this is Mike Oakes with Earthworks, out on the Barry job. So we got all the excavation done out front. We got pretty much all the new beds established, what will be the new beds. Currently, I can't put anything in the front yard because I'm using this as access. We have super tight access over here. Taking precautions by putting plywood down on the neighbor's side, because as you see, the side that we didn't put the plywood down, we're going to be cutting that out anyway and putting a new strip of grass throughout that whole entire area there. But we didn't want to do that same thing to the neighbors just because we want them to have what they had existing already. So we didn't want to damage their lot. We'll just keep all the damage on our side. The plants that you see over here, these are going to be our transplants. We water these every day. We'll biotone stuff like this, and they will bounce back. We pretty much ripped out the whole entire backyard, all the grass. We ripped out the existing patio, and then we sprayed everything out. We have our crushcrete in. We have our Trimron pavers already ready to go. Have all these staged for the guys for Monday. This is just something we like to do. I mean, as you see, it's a rough grade. It's a rough prep for the paver guys. They'll come in, no matter what I do, they always come in, they touch it after me anyway. So it's just a rough grade for them to have a giant sandbox to play in. Once they get this all nice and perfect, we'll start laying all these pavers down. We do 4 inches of crushcrete underneath all of our pavers on the pad back here. So this is 4 inches of crushcrete. The existing grade out here was actually pretty flat. It just it had brand new sod on it. So with the brand new sod and with it being sugary sand, literally everything just kind of bunched up. So we brought in 6 more yards of good dirt, and we kind of peppered that around throughout the whole entire patio itself. That way the elevation change wasn't a step down from our pavers to the existing. So now it has a nice transition between the pavers and where the grass and sod will be. So I try to keep the swale on both sides, and then we're gonna have everything pitched from the pavers to the pond. So normally we have a fire pit on our patios. These homeowners kind of wanted to bring it into where their foliage will be. Right now you can't really tell, but there will be a lot of plants back here. Sylvesters on both corners. We'll have triple Robelinis, but we'll have 4 Robelinis altogether. So we'll have one on the corner of that house, one about 3/4 of the way down, and then that's gonna match and mirror on this side. So we'll have the 2 giant Sylvesters in the back, and then the 4 Robelinis, 4 triple Robelinis up here in the front little half. And then again, with all the oleander, she has blue days, she has plants for days on here. And then we'll have a nice little fire pit out here. We'll have flagstone walkway coming out to the fire pit area, and then flagstone wrapping around everything. So it'll be its own unique little paradise back here, you know, off in the cut. It's just baking out here. It's super hot out here. So we're gonna give them some coverage out here around their fire pit area. This job's been pretty simple. This hasn't been no surprises, no headaches. I mean, knock on some wood if it was around me. Let's go ahead and do that now. So, you know, we got everything pretty much prepped and ready to go. If you stay tuned, you'll see Monday we'll have the pavers in, and then the following rest of that week we'll be starting to put some greenery in. As you see, we got the paver guys today. These guys are rocking and rolling, trying to beat the weather. The water is always our enemy out here. So with that, we're pretty much just going day by day, just trying to figure out what's gonna go on. So if we have like a day like today, super nice, but then when we got out here, it's super overcast and super rainy. In that case, just start getting it. These guys don't play. think 12 pallets total out here. So like I said, you see the clouds rolling in, they just move a little bit faster. So got Antonio and Mark out here with me this afternoon. And then we have A&W Pavers, which is also Wagner. We have a giant patio going in. We'll have lots of flagstone and a little fire pit area. So the pavers that we're using out here are Sierra. This is a Trimron product. And then we'll do a charcoal border around everything, kind of accent everything. Same thing with the house. The house is light, the pavers are light, and then you have the dark border. It'll look really nice. You have a couple options with the concrete. So with the pavers, you'll do either on the side or under. So, and that's just on the border. So with the border, they'll make like a little triangle, and that kind of thing locks everything in. A lot of people like the underneath look. You got to pick up the paver, dig a little trench, drop the concrete in, and then reset the paver and make sure that's level. We also got a water feature going on up front, so we're going to tackle that. This coming up this week. We got the palms going in tomorrow. We got irrigation going on Thursday, so stay tuned and you'll see a finished product. Good afternoon, Mike Oaks with Earthworks at the Berry residence. We got a lot going on. We have All-Star's out here knocking out all of our irrigation for us. Got Antonio and myself, we're dropping plants, getting the plants in, just trying to get some of the bigger things in. That way irrigation knows what to put the bubblers on, where the new beds are gonna be. So literally we had a bare slate. Now we have all the Sylvesters in. With our Sylvesters, we always do a wood staking kit for basically about a year. We leave those on just so that we don't have nothing falling over. We have a lot of, like I said, a lot of plants down below, so we don't want something heavy smashing anything or even falling on the house. We have a whole bunch of Robolinis out here. So in the front, we did have a crepe myrtle that was gonna go over here. They decided against it. It was just a little too bare throughout the year for them. So the next best thing is the palm, and the Robolini is their choice. You got full greenery year long. It's a triple, so this thing's gonna get pretty massive and give it a little bit of shade over here on this far corner. But we got a lot going on in the backyard too. So last video, we installed all the patio. We got pretty much everything graded and cleaned up just for these guys to come destroy it. So they dug all their trenches. They're getting all the irrigation ran for me. I have 5 new zones in the backyard. They're almost done with this right side. Left side's completed. I have pretty much everything staged where it's gonna go. So once they get out of my way and finish up with this, we're gonna swap spots. They're gonna go out front. I'm gonna come into the back, and we're gonna drop all these plants back here. The benefit to this, having these guys out here with me right now, as soon as I drop these plants, water can go right on them tonight. We have the fire pit completed. Antonio and myself, we finished that up yesterday. As I was saying, we have our Sylvesters in the very back. Also, those are all staked up. It's just so we don't have nothing falling. Because we're on the water, we have a lot of wind back here. We don't really have any type of wind breaker. So tweakage is allowed on the plans. So out here, we kind of had the walkway a really sharp right, and then the fire pit was a little bit more over in the corner. Worked with the clients. They decided they wanted to pull it out a little bit. Also, once we get the foliage in, we can kind of see, because we're gonna have fire in the fire pit. We don't want the trees to catch on fire. So we just try to place everything, you know, accordingly to where we feel things won't catch on fire, things won't be damaged. My next step will be the flagstone walkway. After all this is all planted today, we'll do the flagstone walkway. I have flagstone going around the fire pit. Again, out front, I have some flagstone going across just as a little pathway in the front behind the Sylvesters. The last thing that we accomplished yesterday, just to have all the hardscape finished, is the polymeric sand. Literally, it took us about 4 or 5 hours just to get that done. So literally just sweeping, and again, just more sweeping. And this is our final product back here. Today is my final day. All the plants are in. As you see, the mulch is in. Today we just got all the sod in. We have 4 pallets of St. Augustine. The front yard, got the new Sylvester. We have a brand new water feature and a bunch of new plants. So we have salvia, blue days, some muley grass. We have a little bit of lantana. We have the 2 beautiful birds of paradise. And of course the lovely water fountain. And it literally is super awesome. Just kind of brings everything together over here. We also have the white fountain grass surrounding this birds of paradise. And the front yard is completed. So we just got to do little touch-ups here and there, water the grass, clean everything up just so we don't have all like little bits and pieces everywhere. Make it look like we were never even here. Some cool things about this house is this is going to be like a trendsetter. So literally everybody out here, they have a couple houses that are pretty unique, but right now on this block, this is the only house with updated everything. This is all specialty stuff for them. So this is stuff that they wanted, not something that the builders wanted. So we gave them their own little paradise here. So in the front yard, like I said, they have a little bit of noise with the water, whole bunch of new greenery. And in the backyard, that was where the major transformation went. So we did the pavers in the back. We got the Sylvesters in the back, the Robellinis. Again, all the plants that are in the back. We're pretty much all wrapped up back there. Irrigation guys came in, All-Star, knocked out all the irrigation for us. Antonio and myself, we knocked out literally anything and everything in the backyard. So all the plants, the mulch, the sod, the flagstone. In the front, we got a little bit of metal edging, all the tree stakes, everything. Our last little bit today will be just spraying off everything and just making everything look presentable.